That is my most irritating rule that they've set for this debate. And that is the mics get cut as soon as a candidate's turn is over, because you can get real gold when the candidate comments off mic. Mm-hmm. And I know they're doing it because Trump interrupted a lot during the first debate between Trump and Joe Biden last time. That's a mistake by Joe Biden. He was the one who requested the rule. It's a mistake. Trump made himself look bad. You know, what's the old saying when your opponent's, like trying to kill himself, don't get in the way, something like that. So that was a mistake. But it's a disservice to the audience at home to not be able to hear those off-the-cuff, witty retorts that the candidate can just slip in. Sometimes it takes 2 seconds. It doesn't have to take a full minute where they're stealing time. And CNN is so psyched up about its rule, which again was clearly a bend of the knee to Biden, that they did a whole segment on how it's going to work. Would you look at this ridiculous thing they put together? Watch this.
Oh, no. If we go behind the podiums, you can see 2 green lights. When they're on, they signal to the candidate his microphone is on. When the green lights are off, they signal to the candidate his microphone is off. Now I want to give you a sense of what it will look like for viewers at home if a candidate whose microphone is off interrupts a candidate whose microphone is on. He's going to interrupt me as I'm speaking, and this is what it will sound like. My volume remains constant, while Phil's interruption can be difficult to understand.
Let's try the opposite. My microphone is now on. Victor's microphone is off, and he's going to interrupt me. My volume remains constant, while Victor's interruption can be difficult to understand. CNN's production team has shared this demonstration with the campaigns earlier today, and we're sharing it with you, our viewers, so everyone fully understands how tomorrow night will work.
Everyone fully understands.
Mic works.
I don't understand. So what you're saying is when you turn the microphone off, you can't hear the microphone? Let's start that again, CNN. I have no idea why you get 40,000 people in the demo at 8:00. You literally have a program of people saying, this is what it sounds like when there's no microphone. I know this is a video and audio podcast, but I'm mouthing it like they were doing on CNN. Good Lord in heaven. I suspect in some way that CNN thinks that this can actually help them with this sense of bias. I mean, if you look back at the Hillary Clinton debate, as I said, I watched this morning, Donald Trump is constantly saying, you gave her an extra 40 seconds. Why did you do that? You're not giving that to me. Mm-hmm. And it's like, now, okay, we have hard and fast. Everybody has something to prove here. As you said, Megyn, I mean, CNN has to prove that they're not going to be like they were in every other network was in 2016, 2020, which was, as Matt pointed out, the fact-checking thing. Because when you fact-check one person who, yes, he lies all the time, but everybody lies, and it's to different degrees. I mean, remember back in the day, people used to say, you're going to cut Medicare. And well, no, we're actually trying to slow the growth of Medicare. How do you fact-check something like that? Is it a cut, or are you just slowing the growth, right? So you get bogged down in these things, in these fact-check things. And if CNN was smart about this, they would back up and just allow the people to debate and say, look, we're not thumbing the scale as we've been accused so many times in the past. So, as opposed to just going on TV and creating these ludicrous videos about what it sounds like to talk and when a microphone's not working. But I think, Trump has a million things.
Is off.
Yeah. I mean, in Trump, as you said, Megyn, I mean, not being, can I say being a dick on this show? Because I already said it, so I can't. Right? So I kind of set you up there. Not being a dick is that everyone knows who he is. That part of him has been established. Imagine if he is just diplomatic and actually, and I know this is a ludicrous idea for a lot of people, but it's actually not, because if you watched him on the All In podcast, in which he gave about an hour and 40 minute podcast, he talked, as we discussed in the fifth column, he talked in a substantive way about policy, like pretty serious responses. And it was a friendly audience, but I was like, oh, that's kind of a different Trump. If you have Trump on stage, everybody knows that other side of him. Everybody knows the combative one. When the audience isn't there to respond to him and play back with him, just be serious and try to do it in a serious way. And you have those undecideds that, as you said, 80% versus these kind of roughly 17, 18% people who are just on the fence about things. Maybe they could say, like, look, maybe he did grow up. Maybe he has learned something in this period of 4 years.
He can't do it, though, because he's a fighter by nature.
No,
he's a New Yorker. He's the celebrity apprentice guy. He's used to being in charge. He doesn't like to be challenged. Joe Biden's going to be spewing a bunch of lies about his record and him personally. Biden's going to personally insult him by raising the convictions, which will definitely irritate Trump. And so it's going to be a lot. It's going to be like the boiling pot where, the steam is coming up and you can hold it together. And then there's just zero chance that he doesn't weigh in.
No. I'm saying theoretically what should be good. I mean, but no, like the second you bring up the convictions, he's gonna lose it. He's a very, very, very itchy a hair trigger on his temper on these things.
But there's an element of Biden that I think we're forgetting about, which is that what happens when you repeatedly give him 2 uninterrupted minutes? Not great things happen. We've seen a lot of clips, and they're all selectively edited clips. Now we're hearing cheap fakes or whatever the term of non-art is from the White House podium these days. But he has a difficult time keeping his track of thoughts. That's one of the reasons why if you want to play a drinking game to drink yourself to death tonight, and I think we all kind of do, drink every time Joe Biden makes a numbered list. Right. Number 1, we're going to fix Medicare. Number 2, Donald Trump is a crook and a rapist. Number 3, he's a racist too. Like he's just always going to number things, even though there's nothing being numbered. And they're completely lists of random ideas that he has in his head. And he's doing that in part because that's just the rhetorical trick that he's done his entire life. But it's a crutch too. He's trying to order his thoughts in a way or make it seem that his thoughts are ordered. They're not. He's a pretty scatterbrained person in the best of times, back when he had complete control over his faculties, and he just doesn't have complete control over his faculties in the same way.
Credit card rewards like cash back can empower families with some extra savings while they're dealing with the rising price of groceries and gas and all the rest of it. But our sponsor, the Electronic Payments Coalition, says some DC politicians are partnering with corporate megastores to take the cashback rewards away from families during skyrocketing inflation. Specifically, they say that the Durbin Marshall credit card bill would take billions from American families, lining corporate pockets instead. Learn more at electronicpaymentscoalition.org and see for yourself if you want to protect credit card rewards and tell DC politicians to oppose the Durbin Marshall credit card bill. That's electronicpaymentscoalition.org. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.